laptop stand.
Started.
Good.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the court's virtual swearing-in ceremony. Please keep your audio muted throughout the ceremony. If you wish to follow the speaker, you may want to set your view to speaker view. Mr. Julio Castillo, Clerk of the Court of Appeals, will offer opening remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Dade. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to be administering the oath today. When I administer the oath, I will use the word swear. If any of you object to that, you can use the word affirm in its place. In addition to that, when I administer the oath, I will ask you to raise your right hand. If you were in the courthouse, I would ask you to stand. But since you're not in the courthouse, it is your option as to whether you want to stand or remain seated. However, you are required to raise your right hand. Also, again, I will repeat what Mr. Dade said, and that is to make sure that you have your device on mute. Thank you so much, and I'll turn over the program to Mr. Dade.
Mr. Castillo, the courtroom clerk will now open the courtroom.
All persons having business before the Honorable Associate Judge presiding of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, please draw near and give your attention. God save this honorable court, and please come to order.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the District of Columbia Court of Appeals. My name is Joshua Deal. I'm an associate judge on the court. I'm in fact the junior judge on the court, which just means that I'm the court's most recent addition. So this is my first time presiding over a bar admission ceremony. For those of you being sworn into a bar for the first time, we have that in common. I'm happy to see all the new prospective members of the ceremony today. I have my Zoom set to gallery view just so I can see all the new faces. And I hope to see some of you in the courtroom in the years that come. I also want to extend a warm welcome to your friends and families who are able to join us today. The Court of Appeals is a relatively new court. We were created by Congress in 1970 to review appeals from the Superior Court of the District of Columbia, as well as appeals from DC's administrative agencies. The court created the DC Bar, and it is our duty to oversee its members, including to rule on motions for admission of new members. And today, that motion will be made on your behalf by Ms. Omolola Oluyume, an attorney who serves as special assistant to the clerk of court. Ms. Oluyume?
Good afternoon, Judge Deal. On behalf of the Committee on Admissions of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, I, Omolola Oluyemi Esquire, Special Assistant to the Clerk of the Court, move the admission to the bar of this court the applicants whose names appear on the attached list. Each applicant satisfied the requirements for admission to the bar of this court. On behalf of the Committee on Admissions, I certify to the court that these applicants possess the necessary qualifications for admission to the bar. Thank you.
Thank you, Omolola. I received and reviewed the motion before today's ceremony, and I know the Committee on Admissions has devoted a great deal of time to your applications and would not have put you on this list if you weren't fit for admission. I have the motion pulled up on my second monitor, so with one last review, I see that everything's in order, and so I am pleased on behalf of the court to grant the motion to admit today's candidates as members of the DC Bar. And now this is the really important part of today's ceremony, the equivalent of the I do's at a wedding, as I recognize Mr. Castillo, our clerk of the court, to administer the oath.
Thank you, Judge Deal. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that as a member of the bar of this court, I will demean myself uprightly and according to law, and that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the oath. Congratulations on joining the bar of the District of Columbia and in participating in this virtual swearing in. Congrats, ladies and gentlemen, and I will turn it over now to Mr. Dade.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo, and congratulations to you all. The Honorable Judge Deal will now give judicial remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo and Mr. Dade. On behalf of my colleagues on the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, I want to extend our heartfelt congratulations to the newest members of the bar of the District of Columbia. Having now taken the oath, you have joined one of the largest and we think most distinguished professional organizations in our country. I hope after this ceremony, you'll have a chance to celebrate that. But first, it's customary for the presiding judge to make a few remarks. And I'll begin by encouraging you to do two things today. The first is to take some time to reflect on the journey that brought you here. And the second is to consider just how different that path has been for some of your peers that are joining us today. For some of you, your admission to the bar is a mere pit stop on a road that you have seen clearly before you for years. Maybe you knew in high school that you wanted to become a lawyer because you did debate and figured that's similar to what lawyers do. It's not really, but you'll figure that out. Or maybe your parents were lawyers and you've known since you were in grade school that this is where you'd land. But for others, this day was far from certain. Maybe, like me, you're a first-generation college graduate and you didn't know any lawyers growing up, so you had no idea what you were getting yourself into when you went to law school. Maybe you had a hard time getting into law school and a harder time still with the rigorous coursework that it entails. Perhaps you didn't have the money to spend on top-of-the-line bar prep materials or the time to dedicate months or even weeks to exclusively studying for the bar exam because you have a family to take care of or worked throughout your studies. And maybe, just maybe, when you managed to overcome all of those obstacles, life threw you one last curveball with a global pandemic and all of the incredible hardships that's visited on so many of us. The reason I ask you to think about those different journeys is this. If you're in the first group and today seemed an inevitability for you, remember that you're surrounded by people who overcame a lot to get here. Appreciate that you're sharing this day with them. And whichever camp you fall into, the preordained lawyer or the one who had to scratch and claw for every inch to land here, you are all in it together now. Your bar cards are all made equal. They're all printed on the same laminated cardboard. It's going to fall apart every few years if you keep it in your wallet, as I've learned. And none of those cards come with a special stamp indicating whether this was especially easy or hard for you. It simply doesn't matter. There are a lot of great law students who turn out to be lousy lawyers. And there are a lot of people who just barely scraped by in law school and just eked out a passing bar exam score and go on to become leaders in their fields. So from here, don't rest on your laurels. Take some time to celebrate, but soon you'll have to get to work. And when you do, appreciate that it is a privilege to be a lawyer. And with that privilege comes certain responsibilities. Because of your hard work and training, others will look to you for guidance, counsel, and help in solving the problems that they face. I promise you it's going to happen a lot. Friends and family will ask you to review their wills, their business contracts, their leases, or you might even get an occasional phone call from a jail cell because you're a lawyer now, and you're the only person they can turn to for help. When that happens, I want you to remember this simple phrase that lawyers are often too reluctant to utter. I don't know. Because you probably won't. Law school and the bar exam do not arm you with all or even a fraction of the answers, no matter how much some lawyers think otherwise. But when you don't know the answer, which is going to be most of the time, what they do is provide you the tools necessary to figure it out. And I hope you'll use that training, that ability to figure it out, to do some good in the world. I know you're not all going to become public interest lawyers, but you can all make it a point to take at least one pro bono case per year. And get involved in the life of the district by volunteering your time and talents to one or more of the pro bono legal clinics that we have here. Before I became a judge, most of my career was spent as a public defender, representing people who could not afford to pay a lawyer. In my opinion, there's really no more satisfying legal work than the work you do in the service of others and your community. Finally, remember that in this line of work, your reputation is everything. No matter how good it is, you can always ruin it. If you leave the cat filter on your Zoom call one time during a court hearing, it doesn't matter how great the rest of your career has been, you're now forever the cat lawyer guy. If you call the wrong Four Seasons and end up doing a press conference outside of a lawn and garden store, you're now the Four Seasons landscaping guy. That's just the way it works. So jealously guard your reputation. And apart from avoiding those major gaffes, that means being civil to your adversaries, treating your clients with decency, and being kind to your employees and employers. Before you become a judge in DC, you're put through pretty extensive background checks. And having gone through that recently, I can tell you that your life is going to be easier if your career path isn't littered with enemies. I'm not saying you should be a pushover. Far from it. It is a lawyer's duty to provide zealous advocacy. But lawyers can fight tooth and nail without making personal attacks. They can disagree agreeably. And I hope you will strive for that in your careers. And now, I will leave you with my congratulations and the congratulations of my colleagues on the court. We know you will do us all proud. I think they'll leave this Zoom room open for a few minutes for any virtual high fives or toasts that you might have in store. But officially, and as concerns the YouTube stream of this ceremony, this concludes our ceremony. Congratulations, everyone.
This honorable court is now adjourned.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congrats, everybody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We did it.
Congratulations.
Congrats, everybody.
Welcome to the DC Bar. Congratulations.
Congrats, you
Congrats,
all.
everyone.
Congrats, everyone.
Welcome to our bar.
Thank you.
And be safe.
Welcome to the DC Bar. Congratulations.
Congrats, you all. Congrats, everyone.
Congratulations, colleagues.
Thank you.